And CBN News financial editor Drew Parkhill is here with us now to sort this out. So what is the holdup on the economic package?
Well, George touched on the key points. I mean, some of the Democrats request, demands, whatever you want to say. I mean, there are things that are understandable. They want more money for hospitals and things like that. But what Republicans are really angry about, George talked about a liberal agenda. They are really pushing a lot of things that critics and Republicans are saying this has nothing to do with the crisis at hand, the coronavirus crisis. Now, there is a quote from Congressman Jim Clyburn of South Carolina, where he said last week, this is a tremendous opportunity to restructure things to fit our vision. In other words, push forth our agenda. And a lot of conservatives have seized on that. The Wall Street Journal quoted it and so forth, because there are things like raising the minimum wage to $15. Tax credits for wind and solar energy, things that have, Green New Deal things that have nothing to do with the coronavirus crisis. So that's a big part of the holdup. Hopefully they'll get a deal maybe today.
All right, I'll be watching that for sure. So there are a lot of negative predictions about the economy right now. How bad could it get, you think?
It could get very bad, especially in this quarter, April through June. There's talk that it could shrink by 24%, 30%. Maybe even more. It's really hard to say, but I mean, these are things we haven't seen since the Depression. The hope is that it'll be short term. I mean, you could see unemployment spike to 20%, 30%. There's talk of that. But again, the hope is that it'll be short term and we would come out of it fairly quickly when all of us start going back to work and start going back to shopping and eating in restaurants and so forth.
What about the stock market? It does seem to keep tanking.
It has been, but I will tell you, Ephraim, this is the first, a normal bear market, which we've been talking about here, would bottom around 18,000, okay? That is the key level to watch in the Dow Industrials, and yesterday was 18,200. Again, that's what a normal bear market, if we hold that, give or take, not exactly, but give or take, then that tells us that we can come out of this fairly quickly. Now, we could still see some sideways action for quite a while. We very likely will see a rally today. The question is, will it hold?
The long-term economic and market outlook still positive?
Definitely. Now, the long-term may be, we may be coming out of this by the end of the year very, very strongly. The virus may come back. There's some questions about that for a while. So it may take only a few months, but it may be a few years. I mean, there's still so much we don't know. But the long-term, definitely, regardless it's short-term or longer-term, it's going to happen. We will get through this, no question. I still say the Dow is going well over 100,000 several years ahead.
All right. Thanks a lot, Drew.